A moment of betrayal. The moment I realized everything I had believed in was a lie, my world shattered in an instant. I had returned home early from work that night, exhausted and drained, expecting the comfort of my wife's smile and the warmth of our home. Instead, I found her in the living room, entwined in the arms of a man I had trusted, a man I considered a friend. The shock froze me, but the rage that followed burned hotter than anything I had ever known. They didn't hear me enter. Their whispered laughter and stolen kisses filled the room like daggers. And in that instant, I made a vow. If they thought they could destroy me without consequence, they were gravely mistaken. For days, I walked around our home like a ghost, masking the hurricane inside me. Every smile I gave my wife, every polite, "How was your day?" felt like an act in a theater of deceit. Inside, my mind churned with every insult, every betrayal, every hidden lie that had gone unnoticed. I didn't confront them immediately, not because I feared them, but because I knew that revenge required patience. Raw emotion alone was dangerous. I needed precision, timing, and a plan so meticulous it would leave them gasping when it landed. I started with observation. I learned their habits. When she left the house for work, where he waited, how long they lingered, how careless they were when alone together. Every phone call I intercepted, every text message I read, fueled my hunger. They thought they were clever, hiding their infidelity behind locked doors and whispered conversations. But I had something they didn't: absolute knowledge of their every move. Sleep became a weapon I denied myself. Nights were spent drafting, calculating, and imagining scenarios where their deceit would be laid bare to the world. I was meticulous, recording conversations, photographing secret meetings, saving messages that confirmed the depth of their betrayal. Each discovery was a fresh strike to my pride, but it also sharpened the blade of my plan. I wanted them to feel the exact same humiliation, the same helplessness, the same betrayal I had endured, but amplified, public, undeniable. Work colleagues began noticing my quiet intensity. I smiled less, laughed less. People wondered what had shifted, but I offered no answers. I didn't need sympathy, I needed impact. Slowly, I positioned myself in circles where I knew their lies would crumble: social gatherings, business meetings, even casual encounters where their arrogance would expose them. My revenge wasn't impulsive, it was strategic. But obsession has a price. I started seeing them everywhere, in every glance, in every mirror reflection. Food tasted bland, laughter felt hollow, and sleep was punctuated by nightmares where they mocked me openly. Friends called, concerned, but I pushed them away. I had no time for comfort. Comfort was for the defeated, and I was anything but. I was plotting. And then it hit me, a single, burning thought. If I wanted them to remember their betrayal for the rest of their lives, I couldn't merely confront them. I had to make it unforgettable, public, and irreversible. The moment of exposure had to strike like lightning. Weeks passed. Every movement of my wife and her lover was cataloged, every weakness noted. I wasn't just planning revenge, I was building a spectacle. Their confidence grew with each passing day, oblivious to the storms silently gathering at their door. The audacity of their betrayal fueled my creativity. It began with subtle hints. Anonymous tips, carefully placed rumors, private messages leaked strategically. I watched from the shadows as suspicion crept into their lives like a slow poison. He, arrogant and brash, began second-guessing himself. She, once smug and untouchable, started sensing eyes on her, though she could not trace the source. Their paranoia was intoxicating. Proof that revenge does not always require physical confrontation. Sometimes, mental torment is the deadliest weapon. I perfected the climax in my mind, a live broadcast where the world would witness their duplicity firsthand. I created a fake event on social media, an intimate, seemingly casual gathering. They would attend, assuming they were safe, their lover close, their deception secure. But they had no idea the trap was set. Every camera, every angle, every screen was positioned to capture them in their shame, and I would be the one holding the remote. On the day of the event, my heart pounded not with fear, but with the thrill of anticipation. The crowd was oblivious, chatting and laughing, while I watched through a live feed, a silent conductor orchestrating chaos. The moment arrived. Their hands intertwined, whispers exchanged, eyes darting with fear as the first screens flickered to life. Every guest turned. Every friend, colleague, and stranger watched in disbelief. Every message, every call, every betrayal laid bare. I felt no satisfaction. Only cold satisfaction, the kind that comes when control replaces emotion. They tried to cover their faces, tried to lie, tried to escape the humiliation, but I had foreseen every attempt. My wife's lips trembled, his eyes widened, and the room filled with gasps, laughter, and murmurs of judgment. My revenge was absolute. But obsession has its echo. Even in this moment of triumph, I felt the hollow weight of years lost to plotting, the sleepless nights, the paranoia that had consumed me. I had won, but at what cost? That question would linger, yet it mattered little. Their suffering mirrored mine, and that was enough. The world reacted instantly. Social media exploded with screenshots, videos, and commentary. Mutual friends unfollowed, colleagues whispered behind closed doors, and the whispers of gossip turned to loud conversations. I was everywhere, invisible but omnipresent, as their reputation crumbled. They tried explanations, excuses, lies, but credibility is fragile, and once trust shatters publicly, nothing can repair it. I watched their lives implode. His career faltered. She faced public shame, and together they realized that betrayal carries consequences far beyond private hearts. I wasn't finished. Revenge is a series of waves, not a single strike. I exposed their finances, their secret purchases, the favors they had taken from others while pretending innocence. Each revelation struck like thunder, confirming my supremacy, solidifying my control. I was no longer the wronged husband. I had become the arbiter of justice in their world, and they could not escape. The satisfaction was profound, cold, and intoxicating. For once, I felt untouchable, unshakable. Years of deceit and manipulation had been met with precision, and I had emerged victorious. I didn't feel forgiveness, nor did I want it. I had no illusions about redemption, and I had no desire to heal. I only desired dominance, exposure, and the unrelenting truth that betrayal comes at a price. In the quiet hours, I reflected on the journey. Revenge is never simple. It's a consuming fire that demands vigilance, strategy, and patience. It isolates, it obsesses, and it changes the seeker. But when executed perfectly, it transforms betrayal into a weapon and humiliation into art. My story was not one of forgiveness, reconciliation, or healing. It was a dark testament. Betray trust, and the world, or the wronged, will strike back with merciless precision. I walked past them now in public, their heads lowered, shame painted across their faces. And in that silent victory, I understood the immutable truth. Revenge is not about satisfaction. It is about justice, executed so flawlessly that those who hurt you will never forget the cost. Moral of the story: betrayal demands reckoning, and revenge, when precise and merciless, is the most unforgettable form of justice.